Hello everyone, my name is Clément, and today we'll talk about the brewery industry. Belgium is known all around the world for many things, but above all for a specific product. From our exceptional chocolates to our famous fries, we take immense pride into crafting this product. And at the very heart of that heritage is our beer. For me and for millions all around the world, our beer is more than just a product. But behind every perfect glass lies a complex reality. The daily challenges of running a company while brewing beers. Whether you're a small batch artisan or a large-scale producer, you might end up asking yourself questions like, how do I monitor my production, from the raw ingredient to the finished product? Or how do I keep a tracked inventory to the component, the kegs, the bottles, and the boxes? Or even, how do I comply with regulation? More specifically, excise management. And this is where things can get messy. But what if there is a way to streamline all this and to freeing you up just to focus on what you do best, brewing beers? Today, we will walk through a live demo of how Odoo can help you gain full control over your production and your inventory, handle sales even if the client purchases in different quantities, and ultimately, grow your business with one single integrated tools. But right now, let's jump into Odoo. So the first thing I want to show you is the configuration of the product, because this is where we made a lot of customization with the brewery module. And so let's jump into the products. On the left, you can see 3 different products. The first one is the beer itself. And the beer, we want to keep track of the stock. So we want to know how many liters we have in our stock, and we also want to know the lot numbers of each unit. So because we want to have that, we need to set them as a good and also to track them by lot. The next thing I want to show you is the recipe, the bill of materials. So basically, how can I create those products? In this case, we can see that we have 2 different ones. We can just click here. And for this demo, I made 2. I made one for my small basin and one for my large one. As you can see, I just put a different reference to identify them. If I click on the bill of materials, we can see that we will produce our beer in this specific quantity. And on the table here, we will see the different components. So we are able to mention all the components in a recipe and to, of course, know the corresponding unit. The second thing I need to show you is the operation. So in this industry, we need to track the number of time each operation takes. So I can give the information to my operator to let them know each operation must take a specific amount of time, and it will also help me to record the real duration. So in this case, we can see that we have 4 different operations with a different duration. The last thing I need to show you is that when we produce beers, we also produce a product aside. We call them byproduct in Odoo. So in this case, when we brew beers, we also have at the end spent grain. And the spent grain, we can use them to produce any other product, or we can decide to sell it to a specific partner. But that's something that we need to monitor in the stock as well. So that's it for the beer itself. Now I need to show you the second product, which is the product in bottle. And so, same logic. We want to keep track of them because it's a good. We need to keep track of the amount in my stock. And we also need to identify a lot number. And if you're already familiar with Odoo, you will see that we have new fields. And this is via the brewery module that we have them. The first one that you will see is that we can link a deposit product to my bottles, which means that every time I will sell a bottle, I will also make the customer pay for the deposit. Of course, we can create as many as we need. The only thing is that we need to put them in a specific category. In this case, I created a deposit category, which is tagged as a deposit category. So no big surprise. If I go on the category, you will see we have a field, it's a deposit category. It's just not to mix all the deposit with all my normal products. So if I go a few steps back, we will see so that we have the link with the deposit product. And we will also see the excises management. So this excises, it's a specific VAT, a specific tax that you need to pay when you sell or when you produce a specific product. In this example, it's alcoholic beverage. So Odoo created a list for us. Of course, we can create new ones or modify the existing ones. In this case, it already exists, and this is the one I need to use. The two other fields is that for every product, we can mention a specific excise amount and excise quantity. This is two data that we need to fulfill to the authority each week, depending on the country, obviously. And you will see we will have a pretty good report that we can fulfill later on. Now that we have that, I will show you the last product, which is my box, my cases. And once again, we will see that we have new fields. So we find back the good, the lot, of course, the deposit product, which is another deposit in this case. And we also have something else. Via this module, we can also explain that a product contains another product, which is going to be super useful because we will have a link with the manufacturing app, and I will demonstrate this behavior just afterward. So in this case, I will just mention that my purple beer box contains 24 units of bottles. And I also have a field to mention my empty deposit product if a customer returned not a full case. And once again, I find back my excise category because we can set them on each product, which allow us way more flexibility. So now that I almost missed something. So the link with the bottles, you can see that if I go on the product here, we will find a bill of materials, which has been created automatically. So at the very moment we link two products together, Odoo will automatically create this bill of material for us. And what we see is that if we need bottles, we will consume a box to get 24 units. But I will show you the behavior afterward. So now that we have seen all the configuration of the product, we can start with the flow. So what I will do is that I will brew my first beer. So to do that, I will use the manufacturing application and go into my operation and manufacturing order. In this case, I can see only the one I have to do. If I remove the filter, I will see all the ones I already did. So what I will do now is that I will create a new one, and I will select my product. So in this case, I want to produce the beer itself. So not the bottles, not the case, just the beer itself. And as you can see, we can select the different bill of materials. So I can decide to go with my small basin or the big basin. In this case, I will just go with the small one. And you can see that, of course, the quantity, we can modify them, and the amount of component will modify as well. In this case, let's stick with the 20 liters. So I can also put a schedule date, of course, and assign it to someone. In this case, I'm happy like that, and I will just confirm the manufacturing order. And right now, you can see that Odoo automatically reserves the quantity for me. So if I do have hops in my stock, Odoo will reserve it for me. So I just need to know which lot number has been taken, and I can just fetch it from my stock. Or if I want to take another lot number, I can just click on the line here, and I can select another one. In this case, I will just leave with the one Odoo reserve. So now I recorded all my components, everything is good, but I also need to keep track of the operation. For the operation, you have two choices. You can either manage everything from here, which is nice because you have a nice view, you have all the different operations, and you can launch the timer just like that, and the timer will do its job. If at some point you want to modify the duration, you can of course do it. So if I validate this one and I want to modify the time, I can just click on the end date and modify the hours just like that. So I can manage my operation time like this, or I can go into the shop floor. The shop floor, it will be super useful if I work with a tablet on my warehouse and I don't have a computer. And the shop floor is really made for that. So if I go here, I have like a more interactive view in which I can see all my different work center. So in this case, the mash tun is already done, so I can move on with the next operation. And same logic, I can just click on the start button and the timer will go on. So in this case, let's just mark them as done. Oops, hold on. And we go, and the last step, I will do it in the backend. So if I want to go back to my manufacturing order with the list view, I can just go and click here. And I will see that only the last operation is not done. So I can just activate it and mark it as done, just like that. The last thing I need to do is to mention the quantity of spent grain I want to register. So by default, it's 6 kilo, but I can just modify it and say that it will be 5 in this case. And now, the very last thing I need to know is to mention a specific lot number. So in this case, I want to write it, and I will say it's lot 03. And I will create it just like that. So now everything is set up properly. I can just validate and click on the button Produce All. So it will happen that at some point you want to have a traceability report of the manufacturing order, just to know which product has been taken with which specific lot numbers. And there is a view for that. So we just have to go to the manufacturing order itself and then click on the traceability button. So here you will see 2 lines, one for the each line for the product I produce. So you have one for the purple beer itself. I can just click here. And you will see component by component and also lot number per lot number, which one has been taken. And I can also, of course, print the report if necessary. So now that I have my beer, I need to put it in cases. So to do that, I will create a new manufacturing order, but a simple one. I will just select my box. And same logic, Odoo will automatically fetch the information from the bill of materials I created beforehand. So in this case, I don't want to make anything complex. I don't have any operation. I just want to record and do the stock move in my stock in order to have a proper inventory. So in this case, I will reuse my lot 03. And I will just leave Odoo select the quantity for me. I don't have to modify them. So I just click on Produce All. And just like that, my product are moved. And if I want to take a look at what happened with the different products, I can just click on the button here, Product Move, and we will see that we have 3 products which has been moved out of my stock, and that I have now my finished product here. The line is green, which means it's in positive in my stock. So now that I have everything in my stock, I can just decide to sell my product. And we will so move on to the sales application. I will just open it, create a new quotation, and select one of my clients. And I will decide to sell a box. In this case, we can already see a lot of information. So we can see that the forecast button is green, which means that I do have boxes in my stock, so I can sell it and deliver it right away. And we can also see that we have the information from the products, so the unit price, but also the taxes. And we have the breakdown of the taxes, excises, and deposits just here. And of course, this breakdown is also displayed on the quotation I will send to the client. So I don't have to think about the amount of excises, about the amount of deposit. I can just automate everything if I configure everything properly. So in this case, I'm happy with the quotation, and I will just confirm it and do my delivery. So I will just confirm the quotation, go on the delivery, and validate the delivery. And now I want to show you the other behavior. I want to sell to another client bottles. And you will see directly the forecast button is red because I don't have the product in my stock. And it's true, I have one box, but I don't have any bottles. So Odoo doesn't know that I have that. But thanks to the behavior made with the brewery module, you will see that something happens if I click on the confirm button. I have an issue with my box. Let's create a new lot number, 03, and put a quantity. I forgot to create 2. So if I go back to my, no, I do have an issue with my box, sorry. I just need to create a new quantity here. So what I will do is that I'll reuse the lot number, and I tell Odoo that I have 2 units in my stock. Here. So no, sorry, if I go back to my quotation, this one, and I want to tell Odoo that I want to sell 10 units of bottles, Odoo tells me that the forecast button is red, so I don't have the bottles in my stock. But if I click on confirm, you will see that Odoo knows, tell me that I do have the bottles in my stock. And what happened is that Odoo created a manufacturing order to convert the box into 24 bottles. I don't have to do it manually, which is a huge time saver when you manage this kind of stock. And as you can see, the purple button, the forecast button is now green, and I can just click on it, and we see that we have a 25 because I created one manually in my stock. And now, just like that, I can just click on the validate button to do the delivery. And now, so we mentioned that we can now manage excises amount right now, thanks to the module. So all the excises, we can find them back into the inventory application. So if I go into the inventory, click on reporting, and then click on excises, we will see a breakdown of all the excises amount I need to pay or to be reimbursed. In this case, it's grouped by week, so I can see week by week the amount I need to monitor to mention onto the authority government platform. And we can see the entry, the exit, and the exit to a fiscal deposit, which means that I don't have to pay the excises. We can also see the excises quantity and the excises amount, and we can also group them by pretty much anything. In this case, it's grouped also by the excises category and then the quantity. So just like that, I can manage all the numbers of my excises, and I don't have to have a complex spreadsheet to manage everything. So what we've seen today is just a small slice of what Odoo can do. We've managed the production, tracked the inventory, handled sales in different quotation and in different units, and we also we comply with the authority, just with one single platform. So if you own a brewery, your primary focus should be on brewing great beers and providing great customer experiences, not on running through complex spreadsheets and on moving from one system to another. And Odoo offers you just that, to manage everything from a one single platform. So it's really the right tool to make all the difference. And so the last thing I need to tell you now is to just go and try Odoo. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation, Kloma. It was very clear. For now, we don't have any question.
Okay.
Maybe we can wait a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
There will be some question. In the meantime, do you want to add something else? For me, it was very clear.
Good. Except for the small issue with the quantity, but not something specific, no.
We have one question, how to manage the deposit return?
The deposit return?
Yes.
So when you deliver something in Odoo, you can also decide to return it back. So if I go back to my sales, and if I open just one here, I can go back to the delivery, and I can click on the return button and decide the product I want to return. So in this case, if I click on return, Odoo will propose me to return this product. But of course, I can also say that I will fetch back 10 units of the deposit and delete this line. So in this case, I will get back my deposit in my stock. So I will get back the deposit itself in my stock. So the inventory will be tracked. And then I can just, depends on how you manage the sales, but either give a credit note or give back the amount in cash. It's really as you prefer.
The next question is how to, sorry. Also another question, can you show how to install that industry?
Yeah, sure. So if you do that, you just have to go back to the main menu and then click on the apps here, and you will see all the different industry. So you can do it that way if you already have a database installed. Of course, I will advise you to first do it in a test database, see if everything fits perfectly. But if you're a new client and you don't have a database yet, you can just go on the browser and go on odoo.com industry and directly download the industry. And it will create a database with only all the custom development made for the industry.
Okay, thank you. And the last question is, how do you commute the taxes? With computed taxes in Python?
Yeah, indeed. So it's already done automatically for some of them. So if we go into the invoicing, and go on the taxes itself, you will see that we have some taxes. The ones for the not the excises but the deposits, it's a fixed amount. The one for the excises, if I'm not wrong, it will also be a formula to compute the appropriate amount product per product and for the quantity sold.
Okay, let me check if there's another question. Somebody's typing.
No?
No, someone is typing, but I'm just waiting. The question is, how many hours of development were needed to develop?
Like the module?
I think so, yeah.
Because the module it's already developed. So basically you don't have to do any additional development except if you have a specific need you need to fulfill. But that's the purpose of the industry, is to already have a pre-made databases for you and to not have to redo the development for every new client.
Thank you. There are some questions written, so I'm waiting, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Does the deposit discounted on the invoice?
Not automatically, but you can do it manually. Yeah.
Okay.
But in most cases, you will do it in a POS, right? The customer will get back to you the deposit, and you will give it an amount.
On the POS, yeah, okay. Okay, I think that's it.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you so much.